Hey guys, my plant keeping mindset has changed so much since I started keeping plants. These are the 5 things I've learned that I would go back and tell my past self to help make her plant keeping life easier. I don't know what to do. So hopefully this information helps at least one of you. Wetness does not equal humidity. I know, right? Seems pretty obvious now. As a noob, I swear every plant care article I came across told me to keep the soil damp for humidity purposes, which I kind of get now where they were going with that, but as a beginner, I took that so literally and drowned many a plant. Without soil additives, this is a surefire way to get root rot. I personally don't think it changes the humidity enough to justify doing it and taking that risk. To each their own. So for any plants, I want to give them a little bit extra humidity. I really like to do terrariums. I think they look really cool. I have one, where is it? Right here. Oh, and up here too. I really like using cloches, clear glass containers over top of my plants, or a humidifier like right next to the plants you want to keep extra humid. My favorite are the Levoit humidifiers. I've been using them for like 5 years now, and they work really well, so that's one I can recommend, but there are so many out there you can choose from. Or I move my humidity-loving plants to water and grow them like straight out of water, just add some nutrients, top off the water. If you do this, they're a little bit more forgiving of like air humidity. I don't know, okay? It just works. How do I say this? You don't need fancy stuff. I'm talking moisture meters, pruners, soil additives, that kind of thing. And yes, they can be helpful, sure. They're not things that are going to really fix like care inadequacies. For some reason, I always thought that if I bought these like fancy things, they would help me keep my plants nicer. I've honestly spent a lot of money on plant supplies I haven't needed to buy, so. And this is hard because there are things that I personally do feel are worth it, like grow lights, terrariums, humidifiers, plant fertilizers I think are a little bit worth spending extra money on, but it really isn't necessary because at the end of the day, all the plant really needs is light, water, food, nutrients. As long as you can provide that and stay on top of that, do that well, the extras don't really matter. Overcare is just as bad, maybe even worse than undercare, to an extent. And this is 100% speaking from my own experience, but I was a helicopter plant keeper and you know, my plants did okay, but once I had my kids, I just had less free time to spend helicoptering over my plants. It actually seemed like my plants started to do better once I stopped helicoptering them. This one, there definitely is a fine line where there's too neglectful. It's just finding like that happy medium. It definitely seems like newbies tend to overcare as opposed to undercare, so I wish someone had told me. With this one, I'm mostly talking things like overwatering and moving your plants around too much, thinking that it's not happy where it is, because that can be actually more harmful to the plant. Sometimes you just need to move the plant, let it sit and acclimate, and then, you know, it'll do better that way. But if it's constantly trying to acclimate, new lighting, humidity, those sorts of situations, the plants can be a little rough. They can be a little slow to grow. That brings me to my next point, which is yellow leaves are normal. When I say that the sight of a yellow leaf used to send me into a panic spiral, like I'm not exaggerating. If my plant got even one yellow leaf, I was like on top of it, stressed out, Googling a million different things that could be wrong with my plants and moving them 10 times. But no more, because I've since learned that leaves have lifespans. So if your plant gets like 1 or 2 yellow leaves, that's completely normal. But here are some things to watch for if your plant is yellowing that can indicate that it's an actual problem and not just old age. Yellowing on the leaves along with other discolorations. Usually it'll be like brown speckles or like brown spots on the leaf, and they're usually pretty soft. If your plant yellows like all at once, old age leaves will fall off toward the bottom. Younger leaves are up at the top, you know, where the plant's growing. Those are things to look for. This last tip is to move slow. Dang it. And this is probably the most important lesson I've learned in terms of plant keeping. Especially in the beginning, it's so easy to get sucked into the like, you gotta catch them all mindset. And the reason I think this one is so important is because it is so easy to fall behind on large collections. You know, I told you earlier that I helicopter parented all of my plants. Well, once I had my kids, it was like a rude awakening and I had no time to take care of my plants. What I couldn't manage to take care of died. And it really just happened so quickly. It was like I had my kid and everything changed. I no longer could take care of all the plants that I previously had been able to take care of. I know my limit on the amount of plants I'm able to adequately care for is a lot lower in number now that I have 2 kids even. That was 1 kid, but 2 kids is a whole other story, okay? We're down to like half the amount of plants I had 3 years ago. Things that I found very difficult to keep up on with my large plant collection is repotting. It was so hard to keep up with repotting because, you know, your plants get bigger, you have to buy bigger pots for them. So just even financially, it gets harder to keep up with. Also, pest infestations or pest prevention measures, I just could not keep up with that on this many plants. I realized a much more sustainable amount of plants to keep. I'm very happy taking care of my plants as they are. Any more might not be good for me. It really will just make it much easier to be mindful of the proper care that each plant deserves. Some people are able to manage a lot of plants very well, but some of us just aren't. I'm one of those people, I've realized. To each their own, we're all just so different and it's cute and fun. Okay, this is totally side note, but I was just thinking, how cute is it that like all of you that are watching this video and me and other plant people just spend so much time out of the day just hobbling around to water all of the plants. It's so cute. I think about that all the time and it makes me so happy. Anyway, those 5 things have made it so much easier for me to manage my plant collection. So I hope you found this helpful. I don't know, okay? I hope you got something from this video. And if there are any things that I didn't mention that you wish you had known before you started keeping plants or in the beginning of your plant keeping days, please leave a comment. It'll be so helpful for any beginning planters out there watching this video. So leave your best tips. Let's help each other out. That's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Please thumbs up or thumbs down if you liked or disliked this video. And then subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos. If you wanna hang out on the tube with me.
Yes!